Hello, everybody. Welcome back to From Rhythm to Algorithm. Continuing, literally, I'm recording a chunk, and this is recorded directly after the previous episode. So I don't know if this will be one episode. So sorry if you're halfway through the last one and you're hearing this, or we're just gonna keep going. So, what is a bow? So now I want to talk about. We've talked about word dynamics clearly, very extensively. So I want to make a differentiation between an integrated word and an amalgamated word. And so, what do I mean? Let's just take the word, we've used the word solidarity, where you have one complete word with its own unique definition made up by two complete other words with their own unique definitions that aren't one-to-one with the combined word. And so, if you're an amalgamated word, solidarity is an amalgamated word. It is one complete word with another complete word just stuffed together and changes the meaning of the new word. And so what's the difference between an amalgamated word and an integrated word? Where an integrated word is like just humorality and morality for, examples we've used before. Morality is the base of humorality. When you spell out humorality, it's very clear that you can break down humorality into that base morality. So if it has a base and then prefix and suffix, it's an integrated word. Because you can't, because we also talked about this underlying principle of indivisibility, which is, again, intimately articulated through religious ontology. But if it's indivisible, right, so that's an indivisible word is an integrated word. And so it means you can't break it down and retain the same meaning. Again, the minimalistic expression, the fundamental theorem of linguistics. But so I wanted to make that, but you can see again growing, logic builds exactly the same as if you have a metal sign, and you plant it right next to a tree, and as the tree gets older and older, over 100 years, it absorbs, it surrounds the sign, and they become one. That's literally how logic integrates with letters, with shapes. And so that's really what's happening there. And so the amalgamated words have just not been integrated. They haven't been around long enough or consolidated enough to literally just morph into one. You can still see the distinct sign and the distinct tree as opposed to just one mix of both. What is integration? Again, I just come back. It's always renormalize. Ask yourself basically, what am I saying? What the fuck am I trying to improve? What am I trying to prove? What am I trying to say? What basic physical fact validates anything that I'm saying at all? But what is integration? And again, that's the analogy I just expressed to you. But rainbow. Now, specifically to rainbow is the word that I came across in novelty, just meaning it was new to me. Right, you have rain, that's clearly a thing everyone knows, I don't need to explain it to you. Then you have bow, which isn't that well defined. What is a bow? I think the first thing you would think of historically is a bow and arrow, right? So that bow, is it the shape of that branch that's bent around? Is it the functionality of what it's used for? Where did that word come from? But why I say that and why I use that example is because you have rainbow and you have bow tie. And so now you have two amalgamated words right next to each other, right? You can break down rainbow into rain, bow, and again, these are on your screen if you're just listening, and then bow, and then tie. And so, right, we know what a rainbow is and we know what a bow tie is. And so you can break down those words and you can literally see bow being that center point, that integral point of where that logic bridges. Because they're both amalgamated words, don't really know how to articulate it better than that right now. But now within a single word, right there again, it's not completely symmetric. It can't be because of the physical emergence of chirality. Proven by looking at yourself in the mirror. But there's some attempt or some sort of reflexive or radial symmetry around a vowel, around a base word. But these amalgamated words where you can break them down, it's like bridging the logic with a complete word that's not really well defined between two things. Rainbow, bow tie. Distinctly different, both use the word bow, one at the ending, the last syllable, one at the first. So what is a bow? But again, it just, even without being able to articulate it that poignantly, seeing that written out and being able to break down those words completely, you can see how there's kind of like a pivot point with logic and within letters or vowels or vibration of your actual enunciation of the syllables. So I don't really know what to make of that there, but it certainly came up. How does rhythm relate to integration? Right, we talked about the barbell. If you can't lift a weight and then you form a rhythm, you can physically lift the weight, so it maximizes work, acceleration, all of those things that are proportional to mass. But how does it relate to integration? Right, if you're trying to ease your way into a crowd, you're at a big concert and the crowd's all moving, you're all swaying, you're discrete individuals making one big wave. Right, how does rhythm help you integrate into that? Right, the crowd is going to set a rhythm and you have to kind of like mix into it. So rhythm and integration are proportional. I'll say that as a definitive logical identity. And then now to finish up for today, another little thing I came across, well, both in linguistics specifically, or again, it's all the same to me, but a protocol is an algorithm, right? From rhythm to algorithm. And so rhythm describes athleticism, right? If you're athletic, you have rhythmic motion. And now algorithm, right? We're going from rhythm to algorithm. Don't forget, like, the titles of these lecture series are forms of solutions too. Like, I mean, this is like I told you, level 69 to the 69th power chess. And you guys lost like a million steps ago and you just don't know. Because you guys are arrogant beyond belief. But a protocol is an algorithm. And our protocol has 3 O's in it. And what does that mean? I don't know. But now can we say, again, some sort of numeric statement about vowels in a word, or consonants in a word, or the same vowel 3 times or the same vowel 2 times? There's a ton of double vowels, double consonants. Why? How? What definitive productive statements can we make about those things? Clearly they are there. I mean, this is a brand new subject, boys and girls. You can go find and prove your own things and ask your own questions. The discovery is independent of me. Give me my fucking money. But what numeric statements can you make about that? Specifically, the word protocol with 3 O's, certainly. But again, because you have the same vowel, you're just changing it with what to make of that, I don't know. But another thing for geometric linguistics, another thing that I do intuitively that I don't know how to formalize, but there's like when you dot an I, right? Don't forget to dot your I's and cross your T's. But there's like a name, I don't even know what it is. There's a name for when you literally put the dot on the lowercase I symbol. So we haven't even derived the logic in linguistics. And so it just shows you how expansive all of this shit is to make connect one word, one simple sentence. And all of this logic is behind it. It's like, God, fuck. But my point is, so when you dot an I, right, I want to say it's like linear symmetry. Basically, any letter that doesn't go above or below, like, the lines of your notebook. And now you would say, the spacing of the lines are arbitrary, and they kind of are. But it's consolidating, right? Why is my notebook this size? Why is the table that size? Why is a doorway that size? Most people are this high or this small. Right? So most people there's consolidation in the size of why my notebook's this size. What is it? I don't know, but it's just in some proportion to the human beings. My point being is, so now with letters, you have letters or vowels specifically, A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y, which again, it's good. If you have any exceptions to your rules or to your axioms, they're not rules and they're not axioms. They're not complete. So complete proofs or complete identities or complete whatever don't have exceptions by definition. But if you have, again, like A, E, O, and U, they all stay. Now I'm thinking again, Pauli exclusion principle, discreteness, up, down. There's a fundamental unit of space or mass that creates an empty space or something. And so, like, if you put a dot on an I or you do the lowercase y and it goes under the line, it's not like completely symmetric. And this is on email for speciality where I reduce the symmetry, and it like visually strikes me, but I don't, and I feel it, but I don't know how to articulate it. Because geometric linguistics is so new. Like, dimensionless analysis is should be directly obvious that it's comprehensive to what dimensional analysis is. It's just you don't have to use an equation sign. Using an equation sign introduces specificity. You're saying this is that, And we've discussed at length that everything is infinitely unique. You will never be another person. I will never be another person. I will never be this pen. This pen will never be me. The pens made on the same factory line won't be the same pens. And so everything is unique. And so the only I is you. Like you can never be anything else, and nothing else can ever be you. And so there are no symmetry doesn't exist. It's archaic. But I don't know how to articulate the geometric linguistics about the spacing or not having dots and little lines over here. And there's a bunch of, again, geometric linguistics is basically the wild, wild west in terms of what you can think of. Because obviously you could literally just look at your keyboard and say, this letter looks like that letter, and it's true identity. You're not the one that proved it, I did. But it's a true identity. So again, you have to make it interesting or valuable. But now I do want to finish this one with because what is force? So really the idea of force coming from Newton or Leibniz or that time, and I would say again, because people will say Leibniz also came up with calculus, which is true, but whether the poignancy or just the notation, because we use Leibniz notation for the differentials, and so very, very few mathematicians can only living person that can comment on notation. Because if you develop new mathematics, you have to form your own notation. So nobody else has done that in a long time. But the point being is, if you're more famous, you actually probably did something different or more better, because good and bad aren't well defined. It's just if you've done something novel, you're going to generate interest. It might not last. It might just be a fluke. But point being is, I think Isaac Newton had the most personal intuition to articulate what a force is, and so. If we have to encompass that. So now here's a very, very poignant result. And so, what is a force? It's equal to a mass times acceleration. It is something that changes the inertial state of an object. Okay, then, what does the people with the badges that are fat and eat donuts all day that I hate called? Law enforcement. So, force, enforce. How do you spell enforce? Ah, Brad, you silly goober. It's definitely not INFORCE. Enforce is not a word. Well, you're right. But what about reinforce? Now you have to think. Because reinforcement is a word, but the base word is force, and then clearly the next expansion of that is enforce, IN, not EN. So what is enforcement? Rhythmic motion is in time. So what is enforce? Sensorality is in force. And so we've just equated sensorality to a word that doesn't exist. Have you ever heard the word sensorality before? The logic is already being consolidated into other words. You're already operating at a level of generality that is complete and comprehensive, and so you never see these bottom line words. And so rhythmic motion defines athleticism. And sensorality enforces. Sensorality is in force. And so that's not a word yet. But that's a very, very cool result. And all of this stuff is coming together like it was for the end of speciality. When the final result is, I don't know. And again, the reduction of these proofs take literal years of me operating at this level all of the time. Each little step should be, again, payment, professorship, tenured, notable, all of the things. I want to be a human being. I discovered the coolest shit ever, and I do it every day, and I have gotten to discuss my results on a meaningful level 0 times, because you guys are lying about the engineering. I have given up on every aspect of my life. Please to let me live to some extent. We're working on, again, I've already crossed the logic to define what sensorality is. It's the final reduced form that's the most poignant that I'm looking for. And so sensorality is effectively at this point already axiomatized. Axiom, maxim, you maximize axioms. And so I can do this logical continuation all day, every day, and I do it. But please, for the love of fucking anything, let me have some fucking money and live some aspect of my worthless fucking existence. This shit is trivial to me. The only reason I wrote any of this shit down is for you dumb fucks to know that I did something. Because when your reputation is destroyed, and you've already reduced a proof to this level, there is functionally no way to tell another person. And it's because of your fucking arrogance. So I'm waiting for MIT, I'm waiting for Harvard, I'm waiting for Caltech, I'm waiting for Cambridge, I'm waiting for Oxford. Sup, pussies. $500,000, bitch ass. See you on the next one.